Ever listen back to one of your solos and think that was fine, but it didn't really say anything? that was me for years. I knew my scales and shapes, but everything sounded kind of the same. And it turns out creativity doesn't come from learning more stuff. It comes from habits that train your ear, your phrasing, and your mindset. So here are 9 habits I wish I knew a whole lot earlier, the ones that completely change how I solo. So most players start with their fingers, but creativity really starts in your ear, or I should say your inner ear, in your head. So try humming an idea first, then find it on guitar. And that's exactly what I was doing in that tune. I was just humming this to go right along with the changes. I wasn't even thinking about what was in the changes. I just heard that going along. And you start to play more of what you hear and not just what your hands default to. So if you want to actually practice something like this, I have a free jam track you can use to test it kind of out. It's designed to help you apply everything I'm trying to talk about in this video. It's down in the description below. You just click that link and check it out. So this second one is something that I think most guitar players need to do a whole lot more of, and that is to leave some space. Make space part of the solo. If you fill every bar with just like as many notes as you can, the listener can't take a breath. They can't take in what you're playing. So play a phrase, then wait, let that groove just kind of keep moving before you answer yourself. You'll be amazed how much more emotion shows up and creativity when you stop playing for just a second. A great solo tells a story. You just start with a simple idea, build some intensity, then just bring it back home. It's as simple as that. You just have three parts: a beginning, a middle, and an end. You start simple, build up the complexity, maybe play higher, and then just bring it back down if you want to keep it as simple as possible. So think of each phrase like a sentence, like something that leads somewhere. Your solos will feel a whole lot more like a conversation and less like a monologue. When you give yourself too many options, your brain either freezes up or it tries to play every single option. And I used to do a lot of the latter. I would just try to play, I knew all the fretboard, so I just try to play the whole fretboard and solo, cram it all in, But a good thing to do is try setting some limits. Just one string, 3 notes, or one position. What I was doing there, it was just in the key of D. I was just playing these 3 notes on these 2 strings and just limiting myself to that. And, you start to notice, I just came up with a little theme. It maybe wasn't great, but it was something to latch your ear onto. You start noticing when you do this, that your phrasing gets better, your timing, you start focusing on your tone in kind of a whole new way. So creativity thrives when you actually create some boundaries. And if you want that backing track to practice this stuff out again, it's down in the description down below. Scales are really just the alphabet, but chord tones are kind of like the words, and when the chords change, you want to aim for those notes that define them, the roots, thirds, or whatever it may be. So in that tune, it was a minor blues. I put a spell on you in G minor, and I was just kind of noodling around, G minor pentatonic, and then when it got to the C minor, I just went right. I went to C. Here's a C. Okay. Just played it right here. And then just bent up to some other notes in the next chords, and it really makes things much more melodic, and it's really how you can make every note feel much more intentional and connected to the song. Some of the most expressive players live right between that major and minor kind of world, So try adding a minor third when you're playing the major pentatonic or vice versa. And what I was doing there, was just jamming over an E, like an E7 chord, and playing around with E major pentatonic, and then just throwing in that minor third. Or much more kind of an edge, much more color and tension and emotion than just strictly to something like the major pentatonic, and it really kind of makes it sound a lot more gritty and real. Those wrong notes between the right notes, they're the secret sauce. So slide into that target note, that chord tone, or walk into it chromatically. That's how you turn sterile scales into much more soulful phrases. I was just taking this thing, and I was going crazy, and then bending up to the root note. So just throw in, but even if it's just one note, just. I couldn't contain myself. That was more than just one note, but just throw in one note outside of the key, outside that scale, and it's where you're gonna find some more interesting sounds. Recording yourself is uncomfortable, but it's actually one of the fastest ways to grow and get more creative and just kind of develop your own sound. Because when you listen back, you hear things that you miss in the moment. Your timing, your tone, your phrasing, it all becomes more clear. There's certain things that you may want to improve, but there's certain things that you may have done that you like, that was very creative in the moment, that you could forget about if you didn't record and listen back. So even a 30-second voice memo can really change how you practice. Perfection isn't the goal, feel is. So I was just playing around, with a mostly E minor pentatonic, and then, hit that note, that little blue note. Oh, sounded a little harsh by accident, a little mistake. But instead of just like pretending like, and making it clear to people, the audience, that was a mistake, I knew, don't even let them know, just kind of lean into it, I made a theme out of it, So when you bend, something and it isn't perfectly in tune, that it's something that does surprises you, like those are things that's you. Don't polish it away. Make that part of your solos and give your solos more of a personality and a life. These 9 habits will transform how you solo if you actually put them into practice, and you're going to start sounding more melodic, expressive, and intentional. But if you really want to level up your creativity, you've got to connect these ideas to the chords that are underneath of what you're playing. Because when you can see those chords and hear them better, you can start building phrases around them, and everything really starts to click. So check out this video next, where I show you how chords tie together and how you can take your solos even further.